Good evening and welcome to Scrapbooking with a Twist, and welcome to my crazy day. Yep, when you have 15 puppies and 3 grandsons, that equals a crazy day, but it's a good day. It's always a good day. So gonna try to make 3 more base pages tonight so that I can get my 20 base pages done so I can do my 20 layouts for the 20 base pages in 20 days over on Ginger's Corner. I hope that you are watching that and enjoying it as we go. It is one of my favorites. So I hope it's one of your favorites. I'm going to start with this blue layout tonight. I decided I wanted to do some inking, so I'm grabbing that. And I tell you this every time, but I've been just going through, this is what I did last year too. I just went through, I go through my scraps drawer and just pick out some scraps that I like and that kind of go together and then make a base page. This was the one that I started with. I've always thought this was pretty. It came in a little 6x6 paper pad. This was an 8.5 by 11. I liked the way it went. This was a 4x6 that was in a little paper pad. So I've got 2 6x6s and then this one, it's actually 4.5 by 4.5 that I'm gonna just slap down on this page. And then when I went through my binder, I found this and I thought that might be really pretty incorporated in there somehow, like something like that maybe. I don't know, we'll see. But I'm gonna toss it in with it when the time comes. So this one's gonna be really simple. I do think I am going to ink it, however, just to give it a little designation. I don't think I want to ink it real heavy, but just a little. Just a little. Give it a little designation. Yeah, it has been crazy. I have I know I tell you this every time I do a video, but I had 16 puppies. Mama laid on one of them, one of the mamas. They have 2 mamas. And she laid on one of them and I couldn't revive it. And it hadn't been laid on for long, but the mamas weigh like 120 pounds and the babies weigh 1 pound. And so it'd be like 1,000 pounds something, you know, on top of us, and you can't breathe. You can't even breathe enough to scream if it's really under them. And that's what happened to that one. And they can't, she's really, really good, but about not stepping on her puppies or laying on her puppies, but they worm around and get under them, and it just breaks your heart. But sometimes that just happens. And I've got one that's really sick. I think I don't know. I'm really watching him. I'm afraid there may be something wrong with his little tummy. I've got him in ICU. But I'm afraid I'm going to lose him. But other than that, everybody's doing good. So the one mama still has 10, but like I said, I think I'm going to lose that one. Pretty sure I'm going to lose him. And then the other mama had 6. She had 7, but one was stillborn. There's nothing I can do about that. And then she laid on that one. So anyway, I'm to 15 right now, but it looks like I'm probably going to go to 14 because I really think I'm going to lose this little fella, which is sad because he's already sold. But, you know, life, that's just life. All right, I'm about to get these inked. And I'm using, I'm using chipped sapphire on these. This is you probably can't see it on video, but it's like a dotted Swiss, and the little dots are embossed and raised. I bought a bunch of these, I think when Joann's was closing out, and I bought them in a lot of different colors, and I really haven't used them like I thought I would, but I thought it made a good background for these just kind of medium blues. It was a good contrast, I thought. So that's what I did with it. So in the link, you will see the link to Ginger's Corner. You'll see the link to why do I keep saying You'll see the link to the playlist that has everyone that's playing along, and it's a big playlist. A lot of people playing along this year. We did this last year, and I loved it. So doing it again this year, and lots of participants this year. So I think you're really going to enjoy it. And if you're not a member of the Facebook group, that's a fun place to be a member, to either participate in things that we do over there, or just to look at all the things people post and get inspired. I mean, you can just do it at any level you want to, but it is a great community over there. Very, very, very supportive community, and just lift each other up and compliment each other. There's just nothing ever negative over there. So if you're a negative Nelly, then you would not enjoy it. But if you're one of these people that enjoys being inspired and lifted up and encouraged and forming friendships, literally, in our little crafty community, I think you would really like it. So the links will be down there. But this is, and I should have gotten these done before. I don't know whether I can turn it any direction I want to when it comes time to make it. I think I kind of like it this way. But I don't know what I was saying. Oh, this is 20 base pages in 20 days. And it's called All About That Base. And I made my base pages before the hop actually started last year. This year I didn't get them all made, so I'm just putting them at the beginning of November, because we could start posting our actual layouts made from the base pages the 1st of November. So I think I'm just going to leave that like that. I just like that look. And then I'm going to toss this in with it, because I really, of course, I just glued all of that down, but I really might like that. So we'll see. And then I'm going to toss the little pieces that I had left over in with that. And that is base page number 1 for tonight. Get that closed up before it dries up. Okay, so there's one. Let's set that aside. This next one, I haven't actually decided exactly what I'm going to do on it. I bought several pieces of this, like 2 or 3 or 4 pieces in the green and orange. I know I did green and orange. I don't know what other colors I got. And I didn't use it the way I thought I would. I thought I would just really use this chevron, and I just haven't. So I had these 2 pieces in my scraps. This was actually on this one, and I just cut it off to get the biggest piece that I could. And then I had this piece in my scraps, and it had that on it. So I cut these both the same size. So there are those little things. And then I decided to cut some of these chevrons out. And I was kind of thinking I was just going to do something like across the page, like that. Maybe three across there. And then I could do something up there if I wanted to with it. Let's do this and then decide. So let's start with this one right down here in the corner. I'm just going to do some taping. I can go back and glue it when I'm a little more positive on how I want it. Okay, that looks like a pretty good angle across there. And then let's see if we can go ahead and trim this. Oops, I think I need to move it just a little. I kind of went off the page. Or didn't go off the page, actually. down here. I need that. Got to get it on the angle I want. There we go. I think I like that angle. Now let's trim it. Come up from there. Like I said, I'll glue and everything better, but I just want to make sure I've got it edge to edge, and that way if I want to put anything under it, I can. Get off of there. No. Okay, so there's that one. I'm going to put this little strip in with that blue one. It was just the branding strip that I cut off. Okay, now I could do something like that. I think I want them all down here though. That one's, I should have gone lower. So maybe I need to come back here and do one. Because, where's my other one? I know I have another one. There it is. Well, I've already cut it, so I can do one there and then do a smaller one there. And I think I like that. I think that works. Okay, so let's do this little one. I just want to kind of get them on the same angle. Okay. I may want to cut that off. That kind of clumsy looking there. Okay, so there's that, and then let's get the bigger one. See what kind of angle we want that on. Maybe something like that, I think. Let's see. I'm doing a couple of different greens tonight. I use green a lot. And I came across some scraps that I liked and decided to do a couple of green layouts. Okay, there's that one. And here is that one. Now I've got to decide. I like that up there too. So I was thinking I could do, I'd need to trim it down to the white so the white is next to the green. I don't know if I like that or not. Decisions. And then just have it, you know, the whole corner down here in it, where that one is like that. Let's trim this down and see what we think. I think I'll go ahead and do the twist while I'm trimming this down. The twist tonight comes from the Gospel of John, chapter 13, verses 1 through 17. And I'm just going to do some paraphrasing for you. This is the story of when Jesus was going to wash the disciples' feet. It's that Passover just before he's going to be crucified the next day. And they are having that last supper together. And he starts to go around and wash the disciples' feet. He gets to Peter, And Peter says, no, no, you can't wash my feet. Basically, Peter was saying, I ought to be washing your feet. But he says, no, you can't wash my feet. And Jesus tells him, if I don't wash your feet, then you can't have any part of me. And Peter says, well, then wash my hands and my head. Basically, just wash all of me, if that's the way it is. And Jesus replies to him, and he says, Jesus answered, those who have had a bath need only to wash their feet. Their whole body is clean. And then Jesus went on from there, and he indicated that there would be one of them that would betray him and all of that. But the part of this event that I want to talk about is this washing of the feet and Peter's reaction and that type of thing. And I think what Jesus kind of is saying there is we've been cleansed. If we've had a bath, these disciples had been forgiven of their sins. They had been cleansed. They had believed in him, and he is the forgiver of sins. And he says, you've been cleansed. You've been bathed. So your body is clean. And this is all figurative, of course. Your body's clean. You just need to wash your feet. Well, think about our feet. Our feet are what take us throughout this world. The world's full of sin. So the world's full of dirt and dust. And so when we come in, we need to take the world off. We need to cleanse ourselves of the world. We've been out in the world. There's a scripture that says we're in the world, but we're not of the world. So it's almost like Jesus was saying, you just need to wash the world off of you. And sometimes that's how I feel. I get out in the world and you're in the store and people are cussing and they're arguing and they're, just not being their best self maybe. And you just think, this is just not the way it's supposed to be. We're supposed to be kind and we're supposed to be considerate and we're supposed to be truthful and we're just in a world that isn't that way. And so I don't know if that's what Jesus was indicating here or not, but this teaches me a lesson that I've been cleansed, I've been forgiven of my sins, and I know that, but I still need to stay on top of things. I need to pray each day that the Lord will forgive me from things. I get proud, I get angry, I get, where I put myself maybe first, where I'm not putting God first. So I still do things that certainly need forgiving for. So I begin to act like the world, and I need to take the world off. I need to cleanse my feet and wash the world off. And so I don't know if that's exactly what Jesus was meaning, but it works for me. I hope it works for you. Okay, I think I need to pull this down one more. I think that's the way I'm going to do that, and just have this end with it solid and these like that, just to be a little different. So I don't know how I want to do this for sure. I think I'm just going to go ahead and kind of roughly trim this so I can run my tape runner. No, I don't need to run it with my ink dauber. Get over there. Let's see. So let's go right down here. And then let's go right down here. And I'm going to leave that open in case I want to tuck stuff. I thought with some of those little bitty pieces, I might actually make a couple of little tags, maybe even just parts of tags that could be tucked. Let's see what this looks like now that we've got it actually done. Yeah, I kind of like that. I do kind of like that. All right, I'm going to leave this whole. I'm going to keep these little pieces just like they are. I don't need that. I'm going to keep that. And then just never know what you might need them for. But I thought I would do a little something with these just for tuckers, like maybe if I need them in behind a picture or something. So I'm going to do this. Oops, I'm probably off camera. I'm going to just cut them because I had that little hole in that one. So I'm going to cut that away. Let me get my layout out of the way for just a minute. And then I'm also going to do this one because I may use that stripe on there also. So I'm going to do these, and let's see. I'm going to cut them to 2.5 because I have oh, that's about as close as you can get to 2.5. And this one isn't quite 2.5. So I'm going to try to put them in my punch for my, do I want banners or tags? I think tags. I think tags. So let's get this out of the way. And these are really short. They'll just, I don't know if I can even get that in. Maybe. Yep. It's not exactly the way this is designed to do, but hey, if it works, okay. I'm being clumsy Claudine tonight. So let's put that away. Let's get these out of the way. But that gives me some little tags that I could use on there. Let's round the corner. Well, I may just tuck them so it won't really matter. What if we inked those just a little bit? Which one? We'll just see which one we like the best. We will just see which one we like the best. Let's just try them. Let's try the lighter one. And see. Yep, I think I like the lighter one. That is Shabby Shutters. And we may not use these. If I don't, then I'll put them in my green drawer. But I just thought I'd have them ready if we wanted to. And it uses those little bitty pieces of scrap, and I won't stick them back in my scrap thingy. And I may go ahead and just cut a piece of paper out from under that corner and make the covers for the holes. Because I don't think I have any scraps in my green scraps that color of that background. Okay, that gets those done. And that gives me a little something. So I've got this. I've got a few scraps of those. I've got these, if I decide to use them. And then I've got this, which I thought went pretty neat with this, if I wanted to cut a piece that went out in there, or even did something like that. And then those would look good on it, like behind my pictures or something. Those would look pretty neat back in there. But I'm definitely going to need some heels there. And then this one wouldn't work with that. But so anyway, I'm just going to put all of this in here with it. And we'll see what we want to use when the time comes. So there's number 2. And then this one is a little more complicated. This one, I don't even know if I think I'm going to have to get a sheet of something because I don't think I have 12 inches here. Oh, no, I do have a sheet of something. Okay, let's get all this off of here and see what we got. I saw a layout somewhere. I don't remember where. It may have been on Pinterest. I had it, I think I just had it in my pictures for a long time, and I was scrolling back through there, but I think I saw it on Pinterest. So it had, I'll show you what it kind of was. This isn't exactly like it was, but it was my inspiration for this. To have this kind of diagonal piece that went across here like that. And then I think they had used ribbon and had a bow and some stuff. But this is some eyelet lace that I think was in my mother's stuff. And I kind of wanted to use some of it. So I think I'm going to put this eyelet lace along there. And then I'm going to use just a piece of white. This is just an 8, something off of an 8.5 by 11, but I'm going to put something over it so it'll be fine. So I need to just put this along here on the back. Give myself a little extra. And I'm going to need to trim some little strings, but I've been wanting to use, I've got several things in there that were in my mom's stuff, and I like to use them every once in a while. So let's trim this up just a little. I'm getting way too messy. Bugs me. Get those cleaned up. That cleaned up. Get my pen put away. I've got a little trash. This is probably going in scraps. There's mine. Okay, I think I can function now. So I want to trim these little strings if I can. Got to figure out which way is the correct way, if I can tell. Okay, it's definitely this way. All right, I may not have to do much trimming. There's no telling how old this is. Just get a little bit of trimming done here so those little strings won't be there. I love to use things that were like my mother's or my grandmother's on layouts every once in a while. So I am just going to, oops, that definitely doesn't need to be there. These down here shouldn't affect anything because they're going to be covered. But I'll get them off there anyway. Okay, I think we're good now. Oops, come back here. Well, I'm just going to end up getting them all, I think. Okay, I think I'm just going to put a line of glue on this and then lay it. I probably better not do it on my actual background. That would be something that I would do and then regret it for sure. So I'm just going to put a line of glue there. Okay. And then I'm just going to lay it on there. Just right below that little eyelet. just like that. Okay. Now I don't want the, then it is going to go on here. Like that. And I think I'm going to like it. All right, so let me get glue on this one, glue them together, and then I can trim. There we go. Okay. All right. This is one of my best ways to use scraps. Last year when we did this, I just started digging in my bigger scraps and pulling out things that I liked and thought, you know, how long has that been in there and I haven't used it? And it gave me a really good way to use up a bunch of scraps. These are my good fussy cut scissors, but they're definitely not material scissors with glue on it, especially material with glue. Let's see if these work better. I may have to get material scissors. Oops, those are going to work. I'll glue that down too. Oh, I said they were. Okay. There we go. So that's got that. That's got a little glue. Now I think I want to put this, get my lid on. I think I want to put this. This is just the back side of a piece that I don't think I'll ever use. It was in my Pringles can. I think I want to put that right across there. But I'm going to do something on here. And so that'll give me plenty of room to slide that out. So I think I'm just going to go ahead and trim or cut this where I know it'll be behind that. And then glue it down. Right at the bottom of my lace. Okay. Now this end. Oops. That's what I get for working on my layout. Okay, now then, let's put that right there. Okay. Trim. Trim. Okay. All right. So got that done. And this was in my green drawer, and I like the way it matches. This was in I got this in a swap. Miss Mallory made this, Captain Mallory, and I thought it was so cute, and the colors are perfect. I have no idea what pictures I'm going to put on this page, but the colors were just so perfect, and it was so stinking cute. And then these are some leaves that were in the painted pages. You've seen me use my painted pages that I get at Scrapbook Convention all the time. These were some leaves cut out of one of those, and I thought they looked cute, kind of like their little lily pad, and that I would put that on there. And then I may tuck some other little things, so I'm barely going to put them down because I may want to tuck some little things, but I liked that. So I think, and it still leaves me plenty of room for pictures and title and journaling and all that kind of stuff. I may even put these up on foam. I think I'll put those little frogs up on foam. I do believe I will. And I need to write on the back. I like to give credit where credit is due. And so I'm going to write myself a note. Frogs by Mallory Obry. Okay, then that way I know who made those cute little frogs. Okay, so let's get them up on some foam. And let's do just a piece. There we go. That's plenty. And that is going to go right there. I think I want to line my little corners up with that. I may do like some stitching on that. Now that I think about it, I just kind of think I will. See if I can find a green pin. We'll just do some stitching along that. I think that would be cute since it's got the little lace especially. I love these frogs. They're so cute. She colored them with her pins and they are precious. Okay, let's see if I can find a green that works. Excuse me for digging. I don't know if that's really green. Don't know that I have a green that I can use. And I don't want black. Let me see. Let's just use the back of this to see what color green this is before we decide. I think that'll work. It isn't perfect, but I think it'll work. So we're just going to do some little stitching. Now this I can do off camera. I'm just going to do, well, I can't and then put that back on it though. I just don't want you to have to watch me do all this stitching. And it isn't going to be perfect. I'm not measuring. I am just doing it, eyeballing it. And there may be other things along here too as I get this into a layout. Okay, I need to slow down. So I think I am going to finish it off camera. So I'm not going to actually put this down because I want to have the stitching under it. Or I can just stitch right along here and then finish those ends out, I guess. That way I can go ahead and put this down. I can't draw little stitch marks and talk at the same time, evidently. It'll be time to feed my babies again. When I get through with this, I'm telling you, with 15 puppies, there is never a down moment. And that goes on all night long for another few weeks. As soon as they start opening their eyes, I start teaching them to lap. And that's a chore in itself, believe me. And then that gets us toward weaning. But it's just one thing after another with them. Okay, you know, actually I think I'm going to put those points right in the middle of that kind of ribbon looking thing. Okay, I'm just going to glue that right in the middle. And I will finish out my stitching, but I like that stitching. Makes it look like a ribbon instead of just a piece of paper. And then these, I'll have room to tuck if I decide. I think I'm going to wait. I don't even know what I did. There it is. But I really think I do like those. But I think I'm going to wait just in case I wanted them somewhere else. But you get the idea of what this layout is going to kind of be like. So there is number 3. So let's go back. There's number 3 with my little frogs by Mallory. And then, and I've got some other things to stick in with that. I've had this other polka dot that I thought was cute. That might be like a cute picture matting or something. I also had this, which you've seen me use this paper in the red, I think, but on one of these base pages, it matches really well. This matches, it looks good with it. This, I don't know, but I stuck it in there. And then there's another one of those. And then there's also the little check. So all of these are just going to go in with this little kit, just in case I want to use them. So I thank you so much for dropping by tonight. Be sure and check out the links in the description box so that you can enjoy everyone's videos that are participating in this hop, all about that base, 20 base pages in 20 days. I thank you so much for stopping by my channel. If you haven't already subscribed, I would love for you to subscribe. And have a blessed day and be a blessing to someone else.